And joining us today from Virginia in the US is Walter Anderson, an author and American academician, and here in the WION studios, Lord Meghnad Desai, author and Professor Emeritus, London School of Economics and Political Science. Thanks very much, both of you, for joining us. Lord Desai, if I may begin with you. This is the biggest phase, 95 seats, 17% of the voting population. And as we said, every phase is important, every battle is, but do you think this is going to be the most important one?
Well, yeah, I think there's some very good indications here. First of all, the voting rate, the participation rate, has not changed very much. If the incumbent is in trouble, people go to the polling stations and vote. So it looks like, except in some cases like Maharashtra and so on, well, there's a tight increase in the people turning up. By and large, things are quiet and calm. It's more or less the same turnout. So it looks like, at least in this phase, BJP has not too much to worry about. I think in places like Maharashtra, in Marathwada and so on, NCP will have a good chance because the farmers' distress and so on. But I think, by and large, the most important thing would be Tamil Nadu. Because Tamil Nadu, as you said, without the two big leaders in both parties, the AIADMK leadership is sort of unknown. And Stalin is a little bit better known. But, they are non-entities. Will BJP gain as the best known face in that in Tamil Nadu? That is, and I think if BJP really wins, even sort of say 8 to 10 seats,
in Tamil Nadu,
that will change the Tamil Nadu equation completely.
That's a very optimistic.
That would be too many. But who else? Which is the personality to impress in Tamil Nadu? Neither Stalin nor Pandaniselvam.
Right. I'll come back to the question of Tamil Nadu in a bit. Let me get in Walter Anderson here. Walter, what's your reading? Who has the edge, according to you, after the second phase of polling? And as we said, the voting percentage, not much change since 2014.
Well, that tells you something in and of itself. If there's a wave for one party or the other, particularly the opposition party, you would see a surge in voting. And as I look at the statistics, they're almost the same as they were in 2014. So there, and that's in each individual state. It was really rather remarkable how similar the voting is. And that suggests to me that, particularly in this case, the opposition isn't getting away, because if they did, you'd see the vote go, usually you'd see the vote go up. So, if on just that alone, I would think that the BJP has a certain advantage. You were going through the various parts of the country, and Lord Desai was also mentioning that as well, and I agree with all your comments, but you left one out, and that is in parts of UP. I'm now thinking actually more the last set of elections, and this one in Western UP, where the BJP had won all the seats. And if they do well this time, they will then have, I would think there's a certain major advantage that they would have going on in the rest of UP as well, in that all-important state in India. Now, the question of alliances came up. The BJP alliances seem to be, back together, but as I think Lord Desai had mentioned, the one in Maharashtra is kind of shaky, but the leaders of the Shiv Sena and the BJP appeared on stage. They were at least, friendly towards each other, and the BJP did give some extra seats to the Shiv Sena in that one, so that may hold. To be quite frank, I'm not sure if the alliance in Delhi is holding. It keeps going back and forth. I don't think it did. I think the Aam Aadmi and the Congress couldn't come to a seat arrangement. And what surprises me, and this is also somewhat to the advantage of the BJP, is that several of the alliances that the Congress has tried to work out don't seem to have worked. And it gets down to the fundamental question of allotting seats to the other side. And they don't seem to have reached an accord on that. Now, the fact they haven't reached an accord shows that there is, somehow there's a lack of desperation on the opposition, to unite and throw BJP and throw Modi out. I mean, they clearly want to, but it doesn't seem to have gotten so far. as for them to cooperate closely with each other. At least it doesn't appear so far.
Indeed. Lord Desai, who according to you then is running a better campaign? Because it, at a certain level, boils down to this. How many of your voters can you convince to come out and vote, and what is going to be your pitch? Because we hear the same shrill voices day in and day out.
No, I think what's interesting is that Congress, having decided not to form a grand coalition, it's dividing up lots and lots of votes. But then Congress doesn't really have that many foot soldiers on the ground.
Also, Congress seems to still be coming to terms with the fact that they have only 44 MPs and they cannot be in a commanding position in a lot of these states.
Absolutely. And I think they have set a modest target to themselves, maybe 70, maybe at most 100, but no more than that. I don't think they'll get 100. But by dividing the votes in places like West Bengal, places like UP, they are helping the BJP. Because in a sense, with BSP and SP together, Congress standing against them, and even sending Priyanka there and so on. I mean, it really is a very strange approach to saying, let's get together and defeat the BJP. Congress has decided they have to show they're still the largest single party apart from the BJP, and then become leader of the opposition coalition at some stage. I think it's a mistake in my view, because they should have cooperated, like Mamta said. Just get together, let every contest be a two-sided contest, and then pile up the votes. So there we are. That's their strategy.
Walter Anderson, do you agree with this? Do you believe that the Congress should have come off the high horse if it is still on one, and perhaps given more to regional partners, regional allies?
Absolutely. I agree totally with Lord Desai on that. I think that, once you have, a one-on-one, and assuming you do relatively well, and they should have if they had truly united, and then you can decide on subsequent questions. But in some ways, it's easier to decide if you're in a good position electorally than if you're in a weak position electorally to make such a decision. In fact, if you're in a weak position to do so, you then are subject to being blamed for being in the weak position. And this is something that the leadership of the Congress has to worry about, because their leadership is at stake in this case. There's one other issue I wanted to raise, and Lord Desai had mentioned the fact of foot soldiers. This is one area where the BJP has no problem at all. And that's especially because of the support of the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh and the various other parts of the Sangh Parivar. You've got well over 1 million young people who are willing, to work virtually for nothing. And the BJP has several times as much money as the Congress, to pay for ads and all the other things that go along with electoral campaign. And that gives them a certain advantage in how they portray themselves. And there's a point in political science referred to a tipping point, that, once you appear to be moving in a certain direction, people have often a tendency to say, I want to be with the winner. In fact, there's interesting talks about interviews with people after an election, and they find out that, say, a party got 30%, but they won nationally. And they do the interview, and they find out that people said, oh, no, 60% voted for that party. So there's a sense where the image, the impression of doing well can actually make you do better for subsequent elements in this poll that's coming up.
Right. So the sentiment is one thing and math is quite another. And even if we agree that the BJP has the advantage, look at what they got the last time. 25 out of 25 in Gujarat, 25 out of 25 in Rajasthan, 41 out of 48 in Maharashtra, 70 plus in Uttar Pradesh. Almost everyone seems to agree that you cannot, it's going to be very, very hard to repeat that. So there will be some loss there, and they will have to make up for that in other states. Which brings us to the regional players, a YSR in Andhra Pradesh or a KCR in Telangana or the Dravidian parties. Do you believe they will hold the key then to who rules Delhi?
I think what is difficult to understand here is that you can see the vote share, but to transfer that into seat share is very difficult. One idea is that even if you take away all the seats that BJP won with a 5% margin last time, they still get something about 200 already. And the question is, and that's on the seats they won. Will they win other seats which may be the Congress won by 5% margin. For example, take Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan. The vote share were very similar, the seat share was very different. Will the BJP get back into those things? Maharashtra, with all the troubles, at last Shiv Sena is back on the board. So it may be. But then in Maharashtra, rural distress is very high. And neither Shiv Sena nor BJP is a rural party in Maharashtra. They are an urban party. So I think Maharashtra is going to be difficult. But I think Orissa will be very hard to call, and they may just join the coalition. In Andhra, Jagan Reddy may defeat Naidu. And then Jagan is open to bids because he will get a better deal out of BJP if he joins them than Chandrababu Naidu got. So I think, it's interesting, like you said, regional players are going to make some difference. But, my gut feeling is that by and large, BJP will not only be the largest single party, but it will be comfortably near the single party majority number.
All right. Walter Anderson, two states I want to specifically focus on. He said 8 to 10 in Tamil Nadu, which is the first I've heard. Also West Bengal, which is being billed as a Mamata versus Modi contest. Do you believe that BJP will make significant gains in these two states?
Well, certainly in West Bengal, the BJP seems to be becoming the opposition party to Mamata Banerjee and her party. And they put a lot of effort into that. And talking about foot soldiers, they have really inundated the state with foot soldiers and their own people as well who are coming out to vote in the campaign because there's an optimism that they're going to do well and become, they may not beat Mamata Banerjee in terms of numbers, but they'll get a substantial number to make up. And for them, it's important because they will lose seats in the Hindi-speaking center. In Tamil Nadu, strangely enough, this is a state that has a relatively strong RSS, but a relatively weak BJP. The other state like that is their neighbor to the west, is Kerala. And will they do that well? One of the problems is their alliance partner could be a problem for them. I think they'll pick up a couple seats, but I'm not optimistic that they're going to do all that well, in part because I think there's a certain anti-incumbency, and the DMK doesn't have the formal leader to sort of give it charisma and shape it together. So there, I don't think they're going to do so well. But one area you haven't talked about is the Northeast, because the BJP is expecting to do very well in the Northeast.
Even after the citizenship bill?
Even after, in fact, that's a double-edged sword, the citizenship bill. And they are anticipating doing quite well, and they put a lot of resources. The fact they put a lot of resources there shows you that they're optimistic that they're going to do better. In fact, in some cases, some people I've talked to said they think they'll do much better in the Northeast. I mean, this is an area where, 6 of the 7 states, or is it all 7 now, have BJP governments either alone or in alliance. That helps in a sense when you have the state government, when you have an election coming up. And they need it. They need the extra seats in the Northeast, West Bengal. I think they'll do better in Tamil Nadu, but I don't think they're going to do all that well.
Right. One important point you made, and I want to ask one last question to Lord Desai. The presence of RSS both in Kerala and Tamil Nadu. The BJP created quite a lot of buzz in Kerala in particular, but now they're a distant third player in the state. Similarly, in Tamil Nadu, they don't have a big face, a regional face. What is it that they're not doing right? At a time when the two Dravidian party are at their lowest in almost 5 decades, the BJP could have made inroads, and yet there doesn't seem to be a lot of...
Yeah, I think, Tamil Nadu is difficult to break into for any party because the two parties more or less divided the thing. And I think it looks like BJP will say, if our partners win, they will have to be fully with us and they have nowhere else to go. So for that. But Kerala is very interesting because Kerala is somewhere where BJP could make a big breakthrough. Partly because Congress is not going along with the Communist Party. And the fact that Rahul has gone to Kerala is, I think, the big blow to the Communist Party. It was really unnecessary. He should have gone somewhere like Karnataka or somewhere, which would have been easier. Now, I just don't understand the perversity of all this. But Kerala would be interesting because RSS and especially Amit Shah has been targeting, for example, Shashi Tharoor's seat for a long time now. Very interesting if Shashi Tharoor survives or not. But I think Kerala is going to be, and Karnataka, it may be that BJP will gain Karnataka back. I mean, it'll repeat its.
You sound very optimistic. I'm going to have to thank
you. I'm just sticking my neck out, and I'm saying I'm very optimistic.
We'll take this conversation forward. Lots of phases coming up ahead. This is a long election spread over a month and a half through the summer. Thanks very much, Lord Desai and Walter Anderson. As always, appreciate both of you joining us here and sharing your thoughts.